Hi, I'm Leah. I'll be your host for today's show, Artistic Outlets. First off, with us we have Alina. Hi, Alina.
Hello.
So you are an artist, is that right?
I am indeed.
So in the world of art, there's all sorts. There's like painting and drawing and sculpting. What is your favorite?
I do mostly painting and drawing, and I'm actually going to be drawing today.
That's so cool. So when did you first start?
I started drawing as a little kid. I remember sitting down after dinner with my dad a lot, and I would choose a subject to draw, and so we would sit down and draw that together. So that was kind of my introduction to drawing.
So is your father an artist too?
Yeah, both my parents are in art. My mom is a graphic designer, and my dad is a 3D illustrator.
That's so awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay. So right now or in the past, have you ever taken any art classes?
Yeah, I took a few like after school classes in elementary school, and my first actual art class was in middle school in 6th grade. And then throughout high school, I kept up with art, and I'm actually in a drawing and painting class right now.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so I think you are going to draw us a picture now. Is that right?
Yeah, I brought some fruit, so I'll be drawing a still life.
Awesome. Let's go start that. So do you want to explain to us the process you use to draw?
Sure. So I usually start with the basic outline of the still life as a whole. You know, like so like this one fits into a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd first draw that triangle on my page, and then get the rough outline of the shapes within the triangle, and make sure it's proportioned, and then go back with colored pencil.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I think we'll leave you here to draw, and then we'll come back and check on you in a little bit. Meanwhile, we'll be talking to Camille. Hello, Camille.
Hi.
Okay, so what is your artistic personality? Like, what do you like to do?
So I'm a filmmaker, an amateur one. That's my main one.
So when did you start film?
Well, I began I began doing theater when I was a freshman in high school, so about 3 years ago, and I started not getting any roles. Well, I never got any roles, so I started looking into other types of artistic development, I guess, and I actually researched online different positions that kind of dealt with like acting and stuff. So I found out like producer and director and stuff like that. And I figured, hey, why don't I try, video a shot? Why don't I give it a shot? And so I started some classes. I joined the media center, and I kind of took off from there.
So you're part of the YAC, is that right?
I am.
Do you want to explain to us what that is?
So the YAC is it's the Youth Advisory Council, which is basically a group of 10 high school students from the Bay Area who meet once a week to make videos and TV shows and discuss media with each other. So it promotes youth involvement in media in the community, which I think that's awesome because it's a different aspect of involvement in the community that most people don't think of. So I really like it.
That's awesome. Okay, so are you working on any video projects right now?
I am. As being part of the YAC, we are doing a final project, and so I am beginning that. I'm also for my advanced video production class in school, I am beginning a surrealist project, which I will be filming over the next week and editing the week after, so it should be done in 2 weeks.
Awesome. So I think we are going to watch an old video of yours.
Okay.
That you made last year at the YAC.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's quality work. Yeah. How much? All right, I'll be right there.
Give me your money. Hey, stop!
Wow, so that movie was pretty intense.
Thank you.
So you made this last year?
Yeah, me and a group, I think it included Mark Monroe, Jacob Newgas, Ryan Lee, Layla Mohimani, and Eddie Munez. And we did a group project together, which we based on the movie Crash, which won the 2005 Oscar for Best Picture, I believe. And it's kind of a movie about 3 teenagers who initially have nothing to do with each other, but then these otherworldly forces, like I guess you'd call it fate, kind of brings them all together and they collide and clash, or crash, I guess. And these are the consequences that come out of that.
So in this movie, you're in it.
I am.
So did your old acting career, has it helped you when you transferred to being like a film producer, director?
Not really. I mean, I didn't have that much prior acting experience. I guess just a little bit. I kind of like, I know not to be all bland when I'm talking, but like, I don't have, I can't, delve into the character. But I mean, I guess, just having a little bit of experience even just, helps a little bit. So it did definitely. But it helps more with the acting than the actual directing and producing part.
Mm-hmm. Does it help you know how to like deal with the talent and stuff?
I guess it does, because it helps you appreciate how difficult the actor's job is as well. Because I know people will be like, you can just act, but it's really hard actually to portray another person that you don't know, especially one that doesn't even exist. So it's a tough job.
So next year you're going to be in college, right?
I am.
So are you planning on continuing your film career?
I am. I'm going to Chapman University, and I'm studying film there. I'm a film production major at Dodge College. Yeah.
Pretty cool. What was the admission process like?
So the admission process was difficult. I applied to several film schools. The most rigorous one was for USC, which has a world-renowned film program. It included 2 essays, a short answer, like paragraph type thing, a 2-page maximum, like short story script, a sample video, and 3 letters of recommendation. So it was very hefty. For Chapman, I had to make a video that was I couldn't be in it, and I had to make it specifically for the application, and it had to be an introduction to some part of my life, which just one part of my life that I couldn't be in, but it had to kind of say something that's like not filmy about me. So I did it about driving because I'm a big car fan. And then I also had to write an extra essay, and I had to give a couple letters of recommendation. So it wasn't as hefty, but it was still pretty top-notch.
Pretty cool. And are you excited for college?
I am. The reason I like Chapman a lot more than bigger schools such as NYU and USC is that it's a lot smaller. There's about, I think, 6,000 undergraduates compared to like 10,000 for USC. So I like that you have this personal relationship with your professors and the students, and then you also have greater access to equipment, which at these bigger schools I understand it's very difficult to get access, especially as an underclassman. So so I really like that that I will have this personal attention and be able to use the equipment there, and yeah, I'm really excited. I have a couple friends in the program, so it should be good.
That's awesome. A couple friends from your high school?
Actually, one of them started out the media center. Her name's Kate Macknick. She's a sophomore there now, and she loves it. She says it's the best film school possible. And then I have a few friends from actual high school who are going not just to Chapman but to different film programs in the country. So there's definitely not a lot of people that I know that are going into film, but there's still high demand for it because the programs are so small that even if a few people apply, there's it's tough competition.
Okay, so I think we're going to check on Alina.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, you want to come?
Sure.
Alrighty. Let's see. Hello.
Hi.
How's your drawing going?
It's going good.
Oh, it looks really nice.
Thank you. So I'm kind of still in the, I guess you could call it beginning stage. I'm trying to get down the main color of the fruit. And then I haven't gotten to any shadows yet, but what really sometimes makes the piece very, very much more interesting is when you add complementary colors to the shadows. So I plan on using some purples and maybe a bit of blue also. I put some orange into the apple, so the blue would complement that very nicely. And it also helps kind of draw the eye, into the piece, and you can, using color, you can kind of shape where you want the viewer's eye to go into the piece. So, yeah.
So for you, what's the hardest part of drawing?
I would say, especially when it comes to colored pencil, it's very easy to make the piece look flat. So you really have to be careful when you draw it. With colored pencil, I find it's often easier to, it's better if you use less color rather than more. Not to say that you shouldn't use intense color, because it often is very interesting if you use intense colors, but it's really easy to accidentally fill in like an area that should be highlighted with, let's say if I was drawing the pear, it'd be easy to fill in the highlighted white area with green, and you can't really ever get back to that pure white that you get when you haven't colored it in yet.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry to interject, but so since I know about cinematography, I was wondering if you ever use like framing or any, I wouldn't say maybe color filters because it's not digital, but do you use ever any like cinematography type techniques when you're making your drawings?
Yeah, I can't think of a perfect example off the top of my head, but I remember this one example that I saw in a drawing book once that basically took you through the same still life, but in different colors. So you use, instead of using an analogous color scheme, you use a monochromatic color scheme. So you have one color and then variations of that color with black and white. And it was really interesting. They used, again, used the complement to in bits and pieces just to kind of keep it interesting. But so let's say instead of using the whole range of colors, you'd use only, let's say, blue and a little bit of orange for the highlights. And you would fill in where you could have white and black and then blue. And so you'd have, in the shadows, you'd have the darkest blue and the blacks. And then you'd have, instead of the yellow, green, and the red, you'd have, again, you'd only have blue. And then the orange, I think, would go in kind of the middle zones right next to the white, just to kind of create points of interest.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Okay. So now I think we have a movie from one of the YAC members here. He put together a short film of him and his friends doing some tricks. So. Oh, I wish I could draw like that.
All right.
Oh, so we are back now after a short clip, and that was an amazing movie. So we actually have Blaze Lee with us right now, who's one of the stars of the video. Say hi, Blaze. And Alina is now done with her painting, drawing. Let me see. Oh, that's so cool. I like the
Thank you.
purple.
Can you describe the color, why you put purple in the shadows and stuff?
Sure. So, for those who don't know, purple is the complement to yellow. So I thought, since we have the yellow banana kind of running through, and I also started with a base layer of a light yellow, which is in both the pear and the apple, I thought the purple would be good to kind of ground the fruit. And and then also it's what also helps it make look more realistic is the highlight kind of on the bottom of the fruit. The light actually reflects back from the table back onto the fruit, so you don't have the darkest area of the fruit right next to the ground. It's actually a little bit above, so you have this kind of ring of light around the things that are touching the ground. And yeah.
That's so cool. So you're, it's like shadowing, right? Is that?
Mhm.
That's so awesome. Is it hard to figure out where it goes, or can you just see it? Because I know when I draw, I definitely can't tell.
I actually, a great artist once told me that you should spend 80% of the time looking and only 20% of the time drawing. So a lot of it is really just observation, you know, just kind of just take an entire minute to just stare at what you're going to draw before you actually start drawing, just to kind of notice the little details. Because there's a lot of detail in everything around us that a lot of people don't usually see because they don't spend time just looking at what's around them. So drawing actually has made me much more observant to detail in objects.
It's very cool. So I know Camille's going off to film school next year. So what about you? Where are you planning on continuing this after high school?
I actually am interested in going into architecture. So drawing kind of provides an amazing foundation for any kind of art, you know, regardless of whether it's graphic design or architecture or even things like engineering, which are not so much art, but I really like math, and so I feel like architecture kind of combines the art and the math that I really like, you know.
Yeah.
So, but drawing definitely provides a really great foundation.
Very neat. So do you have a favorite piece that you've drawn?
Sadly, I don't have it with me today, but I have an oil pastel painting of a parrot. It's so it's kind of like a close-up of the parrot's head, and I used oil pastel for that, and I thought what the hardest part about that was actually the eye. That's generally where people tend to look first, is right into the eye, if it's an animal or if it's a person. So I spent about an hour on just the eye itself. So, you know, just kind of trying to get the highlight and the colors that reflect back into the eye. And I would say that's one of my biggest successes, I want to say.
You know, I like that she said that because I know in a film you have the 3x3 rule, which is like if you divide the screen into thirds, and then you have if you have a person's eyes in the center 2 or 3 of them, I'm not good at math. In the very center 2 dots, kind of up in the upper line, you have the eyes there, and that's like the focus point that you're gonna be focusing on. So it's really interesting how that ties in with that.
That 3x3 is actually a big part in composition and art as well.
Yeah.
You know, I was taught actually the first time that this was mentioned to me was freshman year. My art teacher put a 3x3. She kind of like divided all of our papers into thirds, and most of us, surprisingly enough, put everything into the center of the paper. Whereas you find if you divide it into thirds and you don't have anything hitting it, it's much less interesting, you know.
Interesting.
Wow. I've learned a lot from you two today about college admissions and drawing. And yeah, so thank you. And I think this is the end of our show. So thank you for coming today.
So much.